Shit, shut your door.
Well, the day didn't look like it was starting too well, with scrambled eggs and what? No bacon. And just like that, the bacon bear arrived to save the day and breakfast was served.
Heading back to what used to be home, passing by those little towns I know so well, stopping for gas and then I'm behind the wheel again. Driving is like a spiritual cleanse where every mile is a new beginning and every bend holds a new end. Eyes on the road, don't lose control. I'm speeding fast to chase my soul. I'm driving to get away.
We were enjoying the trip immensely. As last time we did this, we travelled from Broome to Kununurra. This time we were going in the opposite direction. So seeing the hills and cliffs from the opposite angles was a completely new experience.
Riding high, reaching for the sky. I had it all but lost and fell back down again. Spent my time playing the game where every single day was a losing battle and every drink was a dead end. Eyes on the goal, don't lose control. I'm living fast, I've lost my soul. I'm driving to get away. Running through emotions high and low, holding on or letting go. I'm fighting another day.
Today we'd head for Windjana Gorge for the night, but first a couple of detours. The first was the Lillyarrah Police Station ruins, where Carlisle told the story of Jundamara. Well, here we are at the Lillyarrah ruins. The old policemen's hangout.
Police station.
Police station.
You know, they'd say maybe they did, maybe they didn't. They speared a sheep or something like that. The Aboriginals would have just seen them as wildlife, you know. So things like that were happening. Jundamara was a black fella that had grown up with the white fellas, and had grown to be a really good ranger, tracker, bushman, ringer, and eventually became a policeman, working out here. You know, eventually he would have been helping to round up some of the black fellas. So his best mate was, I think it's Richardson. Either Richards or Richardson, forgive me. They were the two cops stationed out here together. One day, Jundamara's uncle and a bunch of his other rellies come through, all chained up. You guys have probably seen the pictures. The manacles around the neck and everything else. They're taking them west and or north from here. So he comes through and has a chat to Jundamara, and he's like, mate, I know you live in the high life here, you know, you're well respected by the white fellas, you got a gig and everything, but you need to understand that there's another story that you haven't really been told. You know, you're not an elder, I guess, as such, but here's what's going on. And look, nobody knows exactly what he said to him, but it turned him around. And that night, he killed his best mate in bed, you know, shot him, killed him, freed all the black fellas, and they ran off into the Napier. So the Napier is a big coral reef. It's limestone, it's chock full of caves, and they knew their way around the country.
It was then on to explore Tunnel Creek.
Yeah.
Okay, follow the arrow.
I'm living fast, I lost my soul, I'm driving high and low, holding on or letting go. I'm fighting another day.
So note to self, if you're going to wear shoes through here, actually wear something that doesn't collect sand.
Where are we? We're in Tunnel Creek. Just waiting to another family coming back, and then we'll cross into the deeper part of the tunnel. This looks like it.
Still waiting.
I was just waiting to see they're guinea pigs to see how deep it is, you see. We started to make our way deep into the cave known as Tunnel Creek. It is believed to be one of the places that Jundamara would call home for the 3 or so years that he was on the run from the law. His ability to appear out of nowhere and disappear without a trace made him legendary. The story is that once a police patrol followed him to his Tunnel Creek hideout, or so they thought. While they were there, Jundamara was actually raiding their base at the police post. Aboriginal people were in awe of Pigeon, this man of magical powers who could fly like a bird and disappear like a ghost. They were convinced that he was immortal. The only person that could kill him would have to be an Aboriginal person with similar magical powers.
Well, I don't think they wouldn't have gone in the cave. I know he ambushed. Well, I think most people just wouldn't have gone.
Last time we were here, we were worried about the water around our shorts. Well, this time it was a tad higher than that. Due to recent rains, there was a section that was too deep for most of us to walk across, and we would have to swim some 20 metres to get to the other end of the tunnel. So off we set. I was tall enough that I could walk it with my head just above the water.
Okay, I needed to close. Okay. I'm still up. Look at it. I'm still up. I'm still. Come on, get deeper now. Shallow, shallow, shallow. Come on. Come up. 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 I'm looking for it. Oh, this is feeling better. I've got a bit of traction. You right
No,
there?
not yet.
All right, you got that?
Yep.
I've got that with sweet.
Yep. I'm going over that way.
There's your feet. You got feet now?
Got feet. Oh yeah, Carlo. Oh, heads down. Heads under. Heads underwater. Head should be coming up soon. Yeah, head's coming up soon.
So I could just walk on the bottom barely. But I can keep my camera draw, but not my lungs.
Well, here we are in the deep, dark depths of Tunnel Creek. Whoa, she's got the dickhead light on.
Yeah,
Apparently.
lighten your light up.
And I think everybody's having fun. We're really enjoying the cold, freezing water up to our necks. It's really enjoyable.
It is. This is the halfway point at Tunnel Creek. As you can see, people are coming from that direction, which is the front, and they're heading in that direction, which is towards the back of it. Dragon's head, doesn't it? Looks like a dragon's head. Oh, that one? Yeah. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Let's go. Hold on. Oh. Growing stalag. Which one goes up? Might.
Go up and tights come down.
Yeah, no, tides come down.
Ah, that's right. Mites go up. Oh, that's great.
When we got to the end, Carlisle pointed out some Aboriginal art that we'd actually missed the last time we were there.
So what's the estimate of the age of these ones we'll be looking at?
I
Do
don't
we
know
know?
these ones in particular. Generally, the only way they can age ochre stuff is
Carbon
age
date.
something that's over top of it. So
Oh.
they'll age like a wasp nest
Uh-huh.
and go, oh, well, that's so this must be. But it's impossible because there's no ochre left. Kind of, it's like on top of the rock. It kind of stains it, but then it becomes part of it.
We would then reverse our direction and head through the tunnel and back to the car park for lunch. After that, it was in the cars and off to Windjana Gorge, where we would set up camp for the night. Once we were all set up, it was grab the cameras and down to the gorge for sunset. Winjana Gorge is well known for the volume of freshwater crocodiles that reside here, and the reason swimming is not recommended. We were surprised by their absence as we only saw 3. Someone said it was due to the cane toads that had killed off a large portion of the population. These damn things have made their way west and are having a large impact on the native animals. You see, they can't distinguish between a cane toad and a frog, which form part of their normal diet. If that's the case, oh, what a shame. After the sun had set, it was back to camp for a feed of meatballs and gravy, one of our pre-cooked meals for just these type of occasions. I'll leave you with some of our favourite shots. Liz snuck down to the gorge at first light to catch a sunrise. There's a reason the series is called Catching Sunsets. Having said that, it was a beautiful morning and the last day of our trip. Well, after nearly 600 kilometres of largely unsealed road that's loaded with creek crossings and magnificent stopovers, it was time to prepare for the blacktop. Just as you manage tyre pressures for the gravel, so do we for the bitumen. A few minutes was taken to get everybody up to road pressures. Morning, Liz.
Morning, John. How are you this morning?
I'm great. Well, I'm great.
Why are you great?
Well, yesterday we went to Tunnel Creek and did some adventuring, really, I guess you'd call it.
I had my dickhead light
Yeah,
on.
your headlight on, yeah. So because of the volume of rain they've had, Tunnel Creek, last time we were there we were worried about getting the bottom of our shorts wet. This time it was above your head. I could do it like, I could hold my head up like that and get through.
It was above my head. I had to swim.
So, yeah, we got across that, just one part of it, and a couple of other bits of water in that wasn't in before, but there's one deep part, and the second part, I think the second pool in. So we went up and we went, took some photos, we went to look at some art, which I didn't know was there. So we got some photos that we can overlay of that. Then we made our way back and went into Windjana Gorge. So there we spent the afternoon and evening. Went down about 3:30.
Yeah, it would have been about that.
About 3:30, and took some photos. There was only a couple of crocs about. Didn't get some really
unusual, wasn't
yeah,
it?
it was, because every time we've been there, there's been on heaps. There was one on a log with his back to us, so again, not being really photogenic. We saw a couple just floating. They wouldn't put their heads out of the water. So we've got photos of those, and then we stayed till sunset and got some colour in the sides of the rock and reflections in the pools.
Yep, they were good.
So yeah, that's all in all. It was a great place to stop. I think it's on everybody's list. It's another gorge, but it's different, and I think that's the key. You know, you go, oh, so many gorges, but each is quite unique, and you can't swim there because of the freshies. But yeah.
Heading back to what used to be home, passing by those little towns I know so well, stopping for gas.
The final duty from the Gibb River Road is to get rid of your rubbish. So we've just arrived at the Boab, let me scratch my nose, and the Boab prison tree. Sorry, the Boab prison tree, and there's a big waste in here so we can put our stuff in it. So that's the next job to do.
To get away, running through emotions high and low, holding on or letting go, I'm fighting another day. Neon lights in the fast lane life, riding high, reaching for the sky. I had it all but lost and back down again.
Job done.
Under the shelter of an information hut, this site tells the history of the area, including the treatment of young Aboriginals, World War II and the early droving years. Then it was a straight run into Broome.
I'm living fast, I've lost my soul, I'm driving to get away. Running through emotions high and low, holding on or letting go, I'm fighting another day. How did I get caught? The walls are caving in. How come I got lost in this endless spin? Why do I feel so empty deep within? Where did I go wrong? Eyes on the goal, don't lose control. I'm living fast, I lost my soul, I'm driving to get away.
That's how you covertly move up a spot in the convoy.
Nothing covert about it.
Nothing covert about it.
After arriving at the caravan park, we got set up, jumped into town and did some shopping. Liz put a load of washing on, and here we are on the infamous Cable Beach. You guessed it, to catch another sunset, or at least we hope. are at Cable Beach in Western Australia, and we've just watched another amazing sunset. And remember, we are chasing sunsets. That's pretty cool. Hopefully the photos do it justice. That's all I can say. And I don't reckon it ever does. It's something that you really need to experience. So we've taken photos on the beach. So hopefully something very similar to what we took at Moreton Island. So we'll now have a photo of Shiloh on the east coast and a photo of Shiloh on the west coast.
And where are we going to for dinner?
We're going to Matzo's Brewery for dinner, and we have sampled their mango beer. And I know, as a VB drinker, whoa, that's a bit right out there, but it wasn't bad. I don't know whether I could drink it all the time, but it's a bit of a bouquet beer. It's not too bad. So a couple of them might be had a little later.
And until then, we'll catch you all later.
Bye.
Lights. Oh, that's magical light, John. This is nice.
Liz and I would like to extend our sincere thanks to all the crew of this Kimberley adventure. Your patience and thoughtfulness for allowing us to capture content for our channel whilst enjoying your own experience was very much appreciated. Of course, there's a couple of special mentions. Rick, our cook, and ever reliable tail-end Charlie. Carlisle for sharing his extensive knowledge and passion of this amazing part of Australia. We would head to James Price Point for the next few days, where we were joined by some of the group. So this ends the second part of our adventure. At this point, we were unsure as to which way we would be heading home, but we did have 3 weeks to do it. We had applied for numerous permits to transit communities and would not know what our options were for another 3 days, when we would get phone reception to find out what permits were approved. So look out for episode 12 as we chill at James Price Point and find out which way we would return to Brisbane.